I teach unconditional love. I talk about it, I write about it, I built entire frameworks around it. And then on Father's Day weekend, I forgot my daughter, not a stranger, not an acquaintance, my youngest daughter, my baby girl. And she let me know about it too. Let me take you back to where this started. In a previous video, I talked about what Papa taught me, that integrity in communication isn't optional. Say what you mean what you say, stand behind it completely. That lesson shaped how I raised my own children. My kids grew up knowing one thing about me above almost everything else. If I said I would do something, I would do it. My word was my bond. That was non negotiable. So, about 2 years ago, my wife and I were planning our calendar for the coming year. You know, the events, travel, everything. I reached out to my kids to coordinate time together with them. Eventually, I spoke with my youngest daughter and we made a plan. On Father's Day weekend, now, we're going fishing. Simple, clear, agreed upon. My word was given. Now, around about the same time, something else was being planned. My siblings and I had been talking about our family reunion. We usually gather back home, in my hometown, but this particular year, someone floated an idea. Since several of our siblings had never been on a cruise, why not make the reunion a cruise? We all agreed. The excitement was immediate and contagious. This became the conversation of every family gathering leading up to it. The cruise was scheduled for the summer, departing from New Orleans. It landed on my birthday weekend. And since my wife had never been to New Orleans, we decided to arrive 3 days early to enjoy the city before the ship left port. It was a beautiful plan. Everyone was excited. We set sail, and it was everything we hoped it would be. Laughter, family memories, the kind of trip that stays with you. Someone posted pictures on Facebook, and I came home still riding the high of a wonderful experience, completely unaware that anything was wrong. Then my phone rang. It was my youngest daughter. And she was not calling. She was not calling to say welcome home. She said, and I want you to hear her words carefully because they matter. She said, Papa, you're always talking about unconditional love and that you love me. I waited for a call or something from you about our fishing trip. You didn't call, you didn't reach out, nothing. And then I went on Facebook and saw pictures of you and your siblings having a good time. I felt betrayed. I felt discarded, like I was nothing. How can you say you love me and then treat me like that? I went completely still, not because I had an answer, but because she was right. Now, let me be honest about what happened inside me in that moment. My first instinct was to explain. The cruise came up after we made our plans. I genuinely didn't realize that the dates overlapped. I never intended to hurt you. I wouldn't never intentionally do that. And all of that was true. But Here's what I also knew in that same moment. Truth without accountability is just an excuse wearing different clothes. She wasn't asking me to explain myself. She was asking me to see her. And the only way to see her was to stop defending myself long enough to feel the full weight of what she was carrying. My credibility was on the line. Everything I had taught her about integrity, everything Papa had instilled in me, was staring back at me through my daughter's pain. So I made a plan. The first thing and the first step toward redemption was the only honest one available to me. I apologized. Not a partial apology, not an apology wrapped in explanation, a full, unqualified acknowledgement that I had let her down, that I had broken my word, that regardless of my intentions, the impact on her was real and it mattered. I knew deep in my heart that she understood that I would never intentionally hurt her. She knew who I was, but that knowing didn't erase what she felt. And unconditional love doesn't get to skip the apology just because intentions were good. The second thing I did was give a solemn vow, not a casual promise, a vow that I would never allow this to happen again. I would guard our commitment with the same intentionality I guarded everything else that mattered to me. She deserved that. My word deserved that. The third step, of course, was a fresh start. After she extended her forgiveness, and she did, because that's who she is. We didn't just move on, we made a new plan. We looked forward to things together. We chose to let this moment become the foundation of something stronger than a wound that had quietly calcified into distance. And now I want to ask you the questions I asked myself when all of this was over. Who was supposed to show unconditional love in this situation? Was it me, the one who failed her? Or was it her, the one who was hurt? Did she offend me or did I offend her? Or was it something entirely different? Here's what I landed on. Unconditional love was required of both of us. It was required of me to own my failure completely without minimizing it or hiding behind good intentions. To look my daughter in the eye, or in this case, to let her voice reach me through a phone and say, "You are right. I'm sorry. No, you matter more than my explanation." And it was required of her to extend forgiveness to a father she knew loved her, even when his actions in that moment didn't show it. To choose the relationship over the wound, to trust that one failure doesn't define a lifetime of presence. Neither of us offended the other in the way we might think of offense. What happened was more human than that. Life got complicated. Calendars overlapped. A commitment got lost in the excitement of something else. But how we respond to that failure was the real test of unconditional love. And unconditional love doesn't only show up when things are easy, it shows up precisely when things are hard. When someone has let you down, when your pride is asking you to hold on to the hurt a little longer, When the person who failed you is waiting to see if the love they believed in is actually real, that's when it counts. So here's what I want to leave with you today. Is there someone in your life, a child, a parent, a partner, or a friend, who is waiting to see if your love is actually unconditional? Not because they doubt you, but because something happened that gave them reason to wonder. And are you the one waiting, holding a hurt that someone who loved you caused, not out of malice, but out of being human? Unconditional love doesn't mean pretending the hurt didn't happen. It means choosing the relationship anyway. It means the apology and the forgiveness both are acts of love, offered freely without conditions, because the person on the other side is worth it. My daughter taught me that, and she didn't even know she was teaching me. If this story resonates with you and you are carrying something similar, a relationship where trust was broken, where love is being tested, where you are not sure how to find your way back, the link in the description will take you to my website. Let's do the work together.